Hello tankers and tankettes, and welcome to a World of Tanks video that's not really going to feature any tanks at all because it's all about mods. I've had one or two people ask what mods I'm using, how I've got it set up exactly, so I thought I'd do a short video trying to try to explain some of it. You'll have noticed there's no intro on this video. I'm actually going to try putting this one up at 1080p, see how that goes. Unfortunately, my intro clip is recorded at 720, so if I do ever make the switch to being able to do 1080p videos all the time, which when I get better internet someday, hopefully I will be able to, I'll have to re-record that. So I was obviously very forward thinking when I did that the first time around. Anyway, this is about mods. Now, I'm going to first run through the mods that I'm using, and then I'm going to run through how to actually install them. I'm not going to actually do a mod pack kind of thing because most of them are very straightforward. Most of them require no configuration whatsoever, but the ones that I have customized, I will explain how I've customized them. So first off, the mods I've got, well, I've actually got the folder here that's got all the mods in it. 3 of them are actually by Locastan, so I'll go through those first. There's Locastan's minimap, there's the enhanced session statistics, and then there's color messages, which are those are both garage mods. Locastan's minimap, obviously, you'll that's one of the ones that's got a custom configuration, so I will come to that. There's Jimbos crosshair, which a lot of you will be familiar with. There's Gnomefather's historical gun sounds mod. There's Kodos hit log only, and last but not least, I've also got a hangar mod, which is how I have the bat cave, basically. It's that thing. So there will be links to all of these in the description below. So most of these are fairly simple. They just go in the res mods folder, and you can see there I've actually made a copy of the folder there. There's a couple of them that have a common one or two common files. It's something like camera node PYC, and there's another one, and it basically, I don't think it matters if you which one you use from which mod. I think they're just a common file that several of the mods use. So if you get a message when you're installing some of these and it says this file is already here, don't panic. Don't think it matters if you keep the one you've got, or if you install, if you copy over from whatever mod you're, it doesn't matter what order you install the mods in, basically. Now, the only mod that is different is Gnomefather's, and that actually requires overwriting some of the game files because obviously it's gun sounds. So what you want to do before you install Gnomefather's, and this is very important, go into World of Tanks, res, and you want to back up your audio file. And the way I do it is I use 7-zip, but whatever your archival tool is, or even just copying the folder. And as you can see there, that's my backed up vanilla audio files. So when you're copying Gnomefather's, I'll just open the archive here. It gives you, there we go, res and res mods, and from res you're basically copying audio into your res folder. And there it is, unpacking, and it will say, do you want to overwrite? And it should have said, do you want to copy stuff over? That's a bit odd. Yeah. There we go. This is what you'll see. It'll say copy and replace, so you go, yes. And it'll overwrite a bunch of the vanilla files. So that's why you really, really want to have a backup. And as you can see, I've marked that it's an 810 backup. So that's the only one that requires overwriting some of the game files. Everything else goes in res mods. So that's the only one that's a bit different. Now, in terms of customization, I noted that there are 2 Jimbos and Locastans, and I'll tackle Jimbos first because that's easiest, that I have configured in some way. So you'll notice when you've got the Jimbos crosshair file open, you'll notice there's this folder here called optional, and it gives you a couple of different options for your normal aim reticle, your RT aim reticle, and a couple of options to do with how the camera works. Now, in terms of aim, I use optimized 1 circle. I think Circon uses the optimized 2 circles. You can also use from older versions, basically, the previous one. Went a bit farther. In RT, you have just an RT reticle, which is, I think, the default one, and then you have one that has a shell travel timer as well, which may be very useful if you're playing artillery and are a massive scumbag. Although I shouldn't say that, I actually have a few RT in my garage as well, but only a few. I'm working my way towards the Burt, you guys, and it's that's not really an artillery, right? It just somehow got onto the artillery line by mistake. Lastly, like I said, the camera options. Now these no gun shake and zoom out, and you get no gun shake, and you can actually, I think, disable this through the World of Tanks options anyway, but it basically overwrites the regular the configuration. But I use zoom out only, which is the extra zoom out mod, and I find that really very useful. So you might want to have that installed as well. That just gives you I think it gives you about twice the normal amount of zoom out when you're actually playing the game. So what you do to install those is you'll see there for this one, it's avatar input handler. You basically in now which file would it be? Scripts probably. No. You find wherever the file is and you just copy it over, and it overwrites, and hey presto, you've got your Jimbos installed how you want it. Now Locastans is the one where I have got the most customization, and there is a readme file with Locastans. I recommend that you actually do read it. It's a bit different in that you get these two files here. Now this is the default minimap, and view range is a new thing that actually calculates and shows on the minimap the view range based on your crew skill. Minimap XML, we can actually get rid of that, is because they're XML files, you can edit them with a text file, a text editor, and if you want to actually customize, what you can do is you can open it up and it gives you a whole bunch of options, and it does actually tell you what things are and what they do. Now the main way in which I have actually customized it is by making it match colorblind mode, which as you'll know I actually use for World of Tanks. It uses HTML color codes, and it's really very, very simple to, in fact I did actually have here we go. You'll want a website that's like this basically, and you can either use the default colors, which it will tell you the default color codes, or if you want to customize the colors for the various markers on the minimap, you can basically go on a website like this, you pick out the colors, it gives you the HTML color code there, and you just copy paste that into the relevant part of the XML file. It's really quite simple to do. The only thing is it might be a bit time consuming, because the only way to see what it looks like in game is to actually launch the game and then go into a battle, which is a bit of a pain. But once you've got it all set up just how you like it, it's relatively simple to do. I've also customized some of the other options, things like I think I turned off the hull laser option, I've changed some of the opacity options, I think I've changed by default if you hit the control key, I think it is, with Locastan, it gives you a big mini-map. I've actually disabled that. I've changed, I think, some of the tank markers. What I've done is I have pasted my configuration into paste bin, and you will see a link to this in the description below, and you can basically copy paste this into your minimap XML file and it will look identical to what I have on my screen, or you can tweak it yourself. You might want to change the colors back to default, because obviously not everyone's going to be using colorblind mode, and I should note I'm not actually colorblind, but I actually kind of prefer the colors, and yeah, I think it's considerate for those viewers who are actually colorblind, which is exactly the same reason that Circon does it. So it's all relatively straightforward, and you can basically fiddle around with it to your heart's content, and it's all pretty easy to do. The other the other thing that I have done in changing locker stands is, by default, where are we? It actually has the name of the mod is HD Minimaps mod. I don't actually like the HD Minimap, so what you do when you're installing it is this folder here, Spaces, actually that contains all of the HD Minimaps. All you have to do to not have that in is, once you've copied everything over, and you can see it's in here, but that's actually to do with the premium hanger. Make sure all of these are deleted. Basically, that's all you have to do. You just delete all these ones, all these folders that have the map names on, and hey presto, you're back to the default mini maps. When it actually, you know, the actual the minimap picture, as it were. Because I don't like the HD one, so that's the only other thing where I've customized locker stands. So yeah, hopefully this has all been relatively straightforward and easy to understand. If you have any questions, you can ask them below. I don't pretend to be an expert. If you've got any mod specific questions, you're probably better off going and posting in the forum thread, or asking on Reddit or somewhere like that, because I'm like I say, I'm no expert on these things, but this is, you know, this all works for me, and hopefully you won't have any problems yourself installing all of these things. So like I said, if you have any questions, you can ask them below. If you found this video useful, you can hit the like button, you can leave any other comments you like, you can subscribe to my channel, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.